Hello everyone, I am Gagan Devi from Shri Sai Ram College of Engineering, and today I am going to talk about how virtual reality or VR is being used in education, especially in India. We will explore what VR is, how it is currently used, a real life case study, its benefits, challenges, and what the future might look like. Now, virtual reality is changing the way we learn. Instead of reading books or watching videos, students can now enter a 3D world where they can explore and interact. This is especially useful in education because it helps students better understand topics that are usually hard to imagine. Now, what is virtual reality in education? How it is going to be used? Virtual reality in education means using 3D simulations and virtual environments to make learning more exciting and clear. For example, students can do virtual science experiments, visit historical places, or even study human anatomy in 3D. This makes learning more fun and easier to understand. Now, what is the current status of India? In India, VR education is still growing. Some schools and companies have started using VR, especially in private schools and big cities. However, it is not yet common in all areas. The government and private companies are working together to bring VR to more schools, especially through digital learning platforms like Diksha. We can see that the National Education Policy of 2020 promotes technology in education, and therefore VR is currently being the top most preferred technology in terms of education qualities. The companies such as Byju's, Creative Labs, and many such companies are currently leading the path to attaining this quality of education. Now, let's look at the next component in our presentation. That is a case study on Creative Labs. Um, the Creative Labs, they create VR content for schools. The tools allow students to do science and math experiments in virtual labs. This is especially useful for schools that don't have proper lab facilities. Creative labs have partnered with schools in India and other countries to improve learning through virtual reality. They offer 550 plus VR modules in STEM subjects such as mathematics and sciences. Their facilities are low cost, multilingual, that is, most of the languages are supported across the country, and their mode is offline. So, internet facility is not much needed for this. And they have achieved a positive result across 30 plus Indian schools. So, we can see that the outcome is actually good. Now let's look at the advantages of VR in India. There are many benefits of using VR in India. First, it is engaging. It keeps the students interested in learning rather than just studying through books, memorizing things. This is way better for the future of the country. Second, it helps students in rural and remote areas to get access to good learning tools. People in villages or in backward areas, they can't access the advanced technologies or advanced learning materials which are available for the people living in the urban locations. For example, students can't actually get the practical knowledge of how a rocket engine works. They can only look at the textbooks or photos or imageries that are available through libraries or the schools. We are actually provides them a method to experience practically what are the processes or what are the components that are being used to make this thing actually work. Next, it is safe for experiments and useful for students with special needs. Students with special needs, the people with disabilities, the people who can see, the people who can walk, they can do their experiments, they can learn through VR in a safe manner. There's no danger involved in VR. So this is very helpful for people who can't do what most people can do in their lives. Now let's look at the challenges. Even though VR has many benefits, there are some challenges. The virtual reality headsets and equipments can be very expensive. Hardware the hardware components are very costly to buy and they are very expensive to make. So it is quite expensive compared to books. Next, not all schools and not all schools and the colleges can afford this. They don't have the internet or electrical facilities for this, and teachers will need training to use these tools. So, yeah, and the other thing is the curriculum needs to be aligned with these issues. So, it will need to be changed according to what the VR demands. So, we can see that there's still much work that needs to be done on making it easier and more affordable for everyone to access the virtual reality. Now, what are the future perspectives? In the future, VR is expected to become a regular part of education in India. With support from national education policy and companies like Byju's and Creative, we hope to see VR used in government schools as well. As technology becomes cheaper and more teachers are trained, VR could change how millions of students learn. Now we have come to the conclusion. To sum this up, virtual reality is a powerful tool that can make learning more interesting and effective. In India, it is already being used by some schools and companies, and there's a long way to go. With the right support and investment, VR can help make education better and more equal for all. These are some sources I've used for the presentation, including the government policies and websites of companies like Creative and Byju's. You can visit these sites to learn more about how VR is being used in education in India. Thank you.